Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay, and we'll be rejoined by Ken Singleton in just a moment. Paul, what's up with the home runs?
Well, you don't have to be Babe Ruth so far to be hitting home runs in this place. I don't know what it is, but primarily we've seen it all to right center field. That seems to be where the ball's carrying. If it's going to be a home run ballpark, you're going to have to kind of even things out by possibly growing the grass up, making the infielder slower, so pitchers have some advantage. But so far, I think it has a lot to do with the pitching, but the ball is carrying.
Good thing or a bad thing, though?
Well, it's a good thing for fans. If you're an offensive-minded fan and you want to see a lot of power in home runs, then this is the ballpark so far. But I don't know if it's good for you and I, Michael, because it makes for long games.
There's going to be a lot of C's, I'll tell you that.
That's right.
A.J. Burnett's going to try to stop that, though. He's been the stopper his first 2 starts. Can he do it again? Lineups, first pitch, baseball, coming up next on Yes. An overcast Sunday here in New York City. Crowd filing into the new ballpark here in the Bronx. 4th game, and boy, it is turning into a launching pad. A.J. Burnett on the mound for the Yankees. Now let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting lineup presented by BMW. Up top, Sizemore, DeRosa, Martinez. In the middle, Hafner, Peralta, and Chu. And at the end, Garco, Shopping, and Asdrubal Cabrera. Burnett is ready. Sizemore digs in. Jose Molina gives a sign. Let's do it here in the Bronx as the right-hander deals. It's a strike, and we are underway.
Let's check out the numbers on A.J. Burnett thus far this year. They have been outstanding. 2 starts. He's won both of them. Look at the ERA. 15 strikeouts in 13 and a third innings and only 2 walks.
The 0-1. 0-2.
Here is the Jeep Scouting Report concerning today's Yankees starter. Fixing what's wrong. He's followed Chin-Ming Wang in his previous 2 starts, and both times he's cleaned up the mess that's been left for him. He's got a nasty breaking ball, and he's averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. Here's a guy who led the league in strikeouts last year.
The 0-2. 1-2. Now they still do the roll call at the new stadium. Here's Johnny Damon's salute to them when they chanted Johnny Damon.
You got to have fun when you're a ball player.
Sizemore with 4 home runs and 11 runs batted in. The 1-2. Inside 2-2. Yesterday, not a good day. Any stretch of the imagination, almost 4 hours. The second inning, the Indians scored 14 runs, the most runs the Yankees have ever allowed in 1 inning. The 2-2. Fouled away.
I think one thing we have to remember here, even though the Yankees have been giving up so many runs and Wang was been knocked around not only yesterday but in his previous 2 starts, is that they're facing the Cleveland Indians. This is the team that scored the most runs in the second half of the season last year. So they're used to scoring. You got to make better pitches against them, and don't walk so many and keep the ball out of the middle of the play. These guys can hit. And as Paul has mentioned many times during this series, they are a very good fastball hitting team. So they get ahead on counts and go from there.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. The 2-2. Low and inside, 3-2. Well, because of this series, the first 3 games, the Indians have certainly moved up in the rankings. Second in the American League in runs, first in walks, third in home runs, first in doubles, and first in on-base percentage. Only the Blue Jays have scored more. 3-2.
It's amazing, Kenny, how you can have a game like yesterday, but if you have it at the beginning of the year, I mean, you can really fill up a lot of those columns. I mean, all of a sudden you're, you go in with you're in the league leaders with RBIs or home runs. I mean, in a heartbeat. But as the year goes on, those games kind of even out.
You want to get off to a great start.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Missed inside. So Sizemore works out a walk to open up the game. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. As I told you, it's a little overcast, 58 degrees, 38% humidity, not much wind. The forecast is what it is right now, overcast.
Uh-oh.
Now quickly out to the mound, Gene Monahan and Joe Girardi. They all seem to have a little bit of a grin. I think something's in his eye.
Let's take a look at the last pitch. It looked like a sinking fastball. Grady Sizemore draws an 8-pitch walk, and can't really see much of anything there.
Gene's going to figure something out, though. Look at that.
That's years of experience right there.
What we got working here, Gene?
Maybe they'll have the bat boy run out a piece of towel so he can rub his eye rather than give him the whole full towel.
A couple of throws over to first to check on Sizemore, who's been thrown out once in this series. Posada threw him out.
Pitch is high.
Michael, you were talking about all the hitting by the Cleveland Ball Club in this series, and that they can swing the bats. Only one player, position player, does not have an RBI in this series, and that's Tony Graffinino. He's not playing today, at least not yet.
DeRosa swings and foul tips.
Every inning's an important inning if you're playing a baseball game. But when you come back from a game like yesterday where you just absolutely got pounded, that first inning to me, it's an important inning. You throw a 0 up.
Uh-oh.
Almost had a little cartwheel out there that time. You look at A.J. Burnett over there, little slip.
Happened to Mike Pelfrey when Citi Field opened up. He just tumbled over after a pitch. His spike had gotten caught. High fly ball, right field. Nick Swisher is there, and he'll put it away for the first out.
Michael, when you say that, everybody holds your breath. Now, fly ball right field, the way the ball has been carrying to right center field. But back to my point, Kenny, I mean, like you said, I mean, that first inning, just to get into a game and know that, you're back on track, because you get a team that come in here and all of a sudden they beat you 20-some to 4, and then the next day they get on the board early.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, man, we're just hitting these guys at the wrong time. And if you look at it, Friday's game, that was very winnable for the Indians. I mean, they got late in the game with the lead. They didn't get to their closer in Kerry Wood because their bullpen gave it up. So they could be looking for a sweep here, but it didn't work out that way.
Broken bat pop-up, shallow right, coming on as Swisher, who'll make the play.
They're trying to get it to right field.
Take a look at the umpires in today's game. You got the veteran crew chief, Jerry Crawford, behind the plate, so he leads the crew of 4. Tom Hallion's at first. Phil Cuzzy is second, and Mike Estabrook is at third.
You know, Paul, you made a good point, but I think that's the difference between baseball and other sports. As we take a look at yesterday, Ed Hickox hit by a foul ball, and he had to leave the game yesterday. And certainly we pass along our best wishes to the veteran umpire Ed Hickox, who had to leave the ball game, and hopefully he'll be back in action pretty soon. You made a good point about the next day, but baseball's different. I mean, you're going to play the next day. You got to forget whether you won or lost real soon.
Hafner skies one to left field. He's going to dunk in for a base hit. Sizemore moves to third. Throw comes into second. So Hafner picks up a 2-out single, putting runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, in other sports, you have a time to think about whether you won or lost. But baseball, you just got to turn the page and come back quickly. Here's Hafner. Yesterday, hit a home run to left field. That's usually not where he hits them, but this one's kind of an inside-out swing. Got jammed somewhat, popped it straight up, but he found a soft spot in the zone behind Cody Ransom and in front of Johnny Damon. Down the left field line as the ball drops in.
Those games, if you think about it, Ken, games from yesterday, much easier to get over as a player than the 1-0 or the 2-1 game you lost in extra innings. Those are the ones that haunt you.
Yeah, they hurt because there might have been one thing that could turn the game around. Yankees would have had 100 things to turn around yesterday for them to win that game.
Pitch is inside. Well, the 22 runs, a lot of home runs, and we mentioned this in the open. 17 home runs in the first 3 games at Yankee Stadium, the highest of any first 3 games at any stadium opening in history. Now the record is 18 for 4 games, and that was set at your place, Paul, the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, 2003.
Things haven't changed there either. That's a home run pad, so it's really not hot here yet, and that's what everybody talks about, because there was a difference in the old stadium. We'll have to see how it plays off here, but as the weather warms up, the ball continues to carry. So to see it carrying this early in the year is very surprising.
2 home runs, and that will shatter the 4-game mark. So 2 home runs today. Peralta takes a shot, but it slices foul.
Just watching Peralta hit in this series, and I know he's a good hitter. He drives in runs, good power for a shortstop. When he gets 2 strikes, it seems like he's looking for a ball out over the plate to go the other way. I really think that with 2 strikes, if you want to get him, you got to pound him inside. Just get something running in on his hands. Because we've seen him get a couple of opposite field doubles in the first game of the series.
And if you want that ball away, you start that breaking ball away and then run it off the plate. That's really the strikeout pitches I've watched him to get Peralta.
1-2. Swung on and missed on the breaking ball, and A.J. Burnett puts up a 0 here in the first. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Peralta swings over the top. It's the Indians nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat against Carl Pavano. Well, that was during the home opener ceremonies, And Pavano was introduced to the crowd, so he had a big smile on his face because he didn't expect anything more than getting booed. And his quote was, "I'm sorry they feel that way. I wish I could have given them something to cheer about, or more to cheer about, I should say." Pavano was 9-8 with a 5.0 ERA and 26 starts over 4 years for the Yankees. An injury-ravaged 4 years where it was a waste for Pavano and certainly a waste for the Yankees. There was also $40 million involved. Here's Brett Gardner leading off today, and Pavano deals. Upstairs.
Somewhat of a contrast in styles between the two pitchers as we look at the numbers. 2 starts, 0-2, and a high earned run average for Carl Pavano so far. Although he pitched a little better in his last start. He had 8 strikeouts in Kansas City. And our Jeep pitcher scouting report, 9-8. That was his record in 4 years with the Yankees. 2004 with the Marlins, he won 18 games. That's why the Yankees signed him to the $40 million deal. And last year, 2008, he was actually 3-0 at the old Yankee Stadium.
Punch the other way, foul. Take a look at the Yankee lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented by BMW. You already know that Gardner's leading off. Derek Jeter, the captain, the shortstop, back to the number 2 hole. Then Johnny Damon has been on fire the last 4 games. He'll bat third. Middle third of the order, Teixeira, Swisher, and Cano. Bottom third, Matsui will DH. Ransom at third. Jose Molina will catch. 1-2. Swung on a miss, and Gardner down on strikes.
Kind of an unusual twist for a right-handed pitcher. Carl Pavano has had a lot of trouble with right-handed hitters so far this year. He has not struck out a right-handed batter, and they are 10 for 15 against him. His best pitching has come against left-handed batters.
If you look about Pavano pitching in New York, he's not, and then there were some guys that came over here, good pitchers that just flat out could not pitch in New York. Eddie Whitson, Kenny Rogers, guys that were good pitchers and then were very successful other places. And you don't know if Pavano was one of those guys that just didn't enjoy pitching here, or if just the injuries absolutely didn't give him a chance.
Jeter fouls it away. You know, Pavano wasn't helped by some people in the clubhouse. Mike Messina was open in his disdain for Pavano, and you know, in recent books over the last year or so, he's come out and said that he didn't like the way he approached it, didn't work that hard, and then George King, a writer for the New York Post, christened him American Idol, IDLE, and he handled a lot, and he was hurt. I mean, you can't make up bone chips or Tommy John surgery. That one's right back to Pavano as he retires Jeter. So I think if you look at it in the spectrum of, hey, the bottom line, he won 9 games for $40 million. Yeah, it's awful. But he was hurt all the time. So you have to then decide, do you believe that he was hurt or not? And again, you can't make up some of these things. He was hit in the head by a line drive. He didn't make that up. Right shoulder problem in 05. Bruised buttocks, which doesn't sound good, but it's an injury. Surgery for elbow chips, broken ribs in a car accident, and then 07 Tommy John surgery. I mean, you might not like pitching in a city, but you're not going to make up Tommy John surgery.
Well, the bruised buttocks. So
could you make that one up?
I'm sure you could try.
Well, he's pitching in Cleveland now, and they can boo in Cleveland too.
Oh, okay.
So he better, start turning around and become injury-free for a while.
Mm-hmm.
One guy who always believed in him was a Yankee GM, Brian Cashman. And he said...
He believed in him to begin with. He gave him the $40 million.
But in defense of Brian Cashman is that there were a lot of teams lining up to get Pavano, offering
true.
more money. The Mariners, the Red Sox wanted him. A lot of teams wanted him back then. Slow dribbler up the first baseline. Pavano fields, fires, got him. Just got Damon for the final out of the inning. A good play by Pavano and a nice stretch by Victor Martinez. So Damon, who's been red hot, tried for the infield hit. Good angle by Pavano and a nice stretch into the runner by Martinez. We played one, and there's no score. Chu will lead off here in the second inning. It'll be Chu, Garko, and Shopik against A.J. Burnett. All the way to the backstop.
Yesterday, this helped get the Cleveland Indians started. A sinking fastball. He actually went down and got that. That wasn't such a bad pitch. And Chu hits it out of the ballpark. 3-run home. That's his only hit of the series. He's 1 for 10.
That one's driven to right field and deep. Going back, Swisher looking up. See ya! Another home run at the Newhouse, and it is 1-0 Indians over the Yankees. And that ties the record of 18 home runs in 4 games, first 4 games of a new ballpark, set at the Great American Ballpark. We're only in the second inning.
Chu did some great things for Cleveland last year, so this isn't real a big surprise for the organization. I mean, this guy can hit, and then we saw him go to left field yesterday. I mean, that's an A.J. Burnett fastball on the inside part of the plate where he turns on it. Pretty quick in there. Okay?
He quick wristed that one. Good effort by Swisher getting up on the wall there. Say hello to fans in the front row.
Now, Tom Hamilton, the longtime radio broadcaster of the Indians, had a great line. He said, I have no idea what W.B. Mason paid for that spot on the wall in right field, but they got a bargain. As Ransom dives and takes away a base hit away from Garko. Let's look at the American Airlines upcoming schedule. The A's come to town tomorrow night on Yes at 7 o'clock. Tuesday's Line 9 at 7. Then Wednesday a day game at 1 also on Yes. Then on to Fenway. A 7 o'clock Friday start on Yes. Then we turn it over to Fox on Saturday at 4:10. And Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN at 8. And what Tom Hamilton means is that every single one of those home runs seems to be going to right over the W.B. Mason sign. And what you want if you're an advertiser and you put your ad on the wall, you want it to get a lot of views on TV. Well, W.B. Mason, it's going to be on TV more than like reruns of Seinfeld.
Who but?
The 0-1, and Shopik gets clipped. Now you wonder, with all the home runs, if A.J. Burnett wasn't trying to move a batter off the plate there, not to get too comfortable.
Well, that's one way. You move the hitters around in the box. You saw a pitch low inside to Chu before he hit the home run.
Burnett has so much movement and throws. He's going to pitch inside. That's just the way he pitches. So, when you're getting beat up by guys, and I mean, they're just. Yesterday's not one of those games that you want to pay back somebody because they did just flat out beat. It was pitching. It wasn't their fault. I mean, you don't go up there trying to make outs because you're beating up the Yankees.
Off the glove of Burnett, he slowed it down. There's one. On to first. It's a 1-4-6-3 double play. But the launching pad in the Bronx, it's happening again. Chu hits one over the wall in right field into the short porch. It's 1-0 Indians as we head to the bottom of the second. Well, those fans right there, they like the Yankees. But these fans love the Yankees. Want to show the world it's not like, it's love? Boy, have I heard that. Put your favorite team logo out there for everybody to see with MLB Banking. Only from Bank of America, official bank of Major League Baseball. Visit bankofamerica.com/MLB.
Just where did you hear that?
My whole life.
Yeah.
This guy's he got a lot of rest or something. He's a little step ahead of us here today. I know it's early in the game. And by the way, when I texted you during the game yesterday, you didn't even respond.
Because you said it all.
That is tired.
You said, I'm glad we're not doing this game, and I nodded.
Well, I wasn't going to lie to you and say, man, well, don't you wish we were there for that beating? But he didn't even respond, Kenny.
Our producer Kevin Swallow just said you sent him the same message today.
No, I just hit the wrong button. I didn't mean it.
The 2-0. Now, I got to ask you something. All the ballparks you played in the American League, what was the easiest ballpark to hit home run? Where the ball flew out?
Arlington, Texas.
Perfect answer.
The new one.
Because Eric Wedge said today, the manager of the Indians, he said, to me, I put this ballpark in the same class as Arlington. That's how easy it is to hit a home run here. He said, and I don't think it's going to change. I think that's the way it is. He said people that are out in front are hitting balls out. People are hitting the balls off the end of the bat. They're hitting balls out. And it's even traveling to left, although most of the home runs have gone to right. That one is driven to center field, deep. Going back Sizemore, he has room, and he'll put it away. One out.
I don't know. You got to let it play for a season or two. I mean, in Texas, it's a well-earned reputation. First of all, the weather's very warm there, even at the start of the season. And that's why you get a lot of home runs. I think here it's a combination of things. I think the pitching hasn't been all that good. That's one thing. And I think if the ball's carrying, there's no doubt, but if pitchers make better pitches, you start getting ground balls. That's what Wong's all about. We know that. First three starts, everything's been hitting the air, and it's going. You know, he's having troubles mechanically. It's not only him, though. You're right.
Here's Nick Swisher. But the thing that concerns me, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, out in front, end of the bat, and the ball's traveling and going.
How about
Mark
baseball?
Teixeira's home run yesterday, that wasn't well struck. It was off the end of the bat.
How about the baseball itself?
Yeah, but it's not happening around the major leagues. It's just here. Did the Yankees get a bad batch at the stadium?
I don't know. Did they say Titleist on them?
That's right. I was going to say there might be Pro Vs.
Now, there's a lot of theories which are very interesting. Everybody's talking about it. It's a fascinating discussion. Brian Cashman mentioned that when the old ballpark is torn down, then the wind off the Harlem River will give a different wind maybe toward left field and would counteract any kind of jet stream to right.
Wow.
The 2-1. Now, also, if you look in the upper deck underneath the frieze or what we call the facade, the back wall behind the fans, it's all open there. It's like air can get in. And in the old ballpark, that was different.
I thought that might affect it is you're going to have open air traveling through the stadium.
So this stuff is all going to be looked at, obviously. It'll be interesting. And as Kenny said, you have to let it play a little bit. You have to let it breathe to see if it will go on the whole year. Strike three, Nick Swisher down looking. And that brings us to our Toyota text poll. Today's question is, what is the most hitter-friendly American League ballpark? And the choices are, number 1, Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Number 2, Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Number 3, Progressive Field, that's in Cleveland. Number 4, U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago. They're not putting Yankee Stadium up there. You can text your vote to 58772 and standard text messaging rates apply.
There's some good choices there. And I think I'd vote for one that people might not think of, the one that's on there, but because it gave up the most home runs, I believe, the last few years.
Which one?
I think U.S. Cellular Field actually gave up the most homers. At least 2 years ago it did. But I think you got to look at the team that plays in there. I mean, the White Sox are a good home run hitting team.
The only point there is what you said about Arlington, that it's warm all the time. You can't tell me when it's 28 degrees
in Chicago
that it's going to the ball's going to carry.
Yeah, but Jim told me he makes it carry.
Well, 500 sometimes he is.
You know who must be salivating, though, at the prospect of a jet stream out to right center? Alex Rodriguez.
just miss it and it goes.
I mean, because that's a lot of his power is to right center.
Yeah.
Couple of weeks, Alex. Hold on, buddy.
I mean, with Alex's swing, he can get up there with a bad hip and hit it out. But they're hoping that Alex could get back. I mean, the date is May 15th, but he's been progressing so well working out in Tampa that they're saying maybe the first week of May now. But they're not going to push it because they want him to be as close to 100% as he could be, and they don't want him to have another surgery.
You know what's unusual today? Ryan Garko playing right field for the Cleveland Indians. And look where he's playing.
Oh, my. I didn't notice that.
He's right on the warning.
Yeah, he's a foot off the warning track.
You know, it's funny as an outfielder. We'll get back to it next thing.
Cano grounds out to Asdrubal Cabrera, and Pavano has retired the first 6 Yankees in a row. We go to the third, 1-0 Indians. Over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is big. Dana Evelyn is getting the start for the A's. 6.75 ERA. Andy Pettit for the Yankees. 1-0, 2.51. Our coverage is going to start at 6 with the BP show. 6:30 pregame. And then right around 7:05, 7:06 for the first pitch.
I wonder if that's one admission or two.
A way to save money, huh?
On the Modell's scoreboard, 1-0 Indians over the Yankees. Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. So A.J. Burnett out for his third inning, and he'll face the top of the order, Sizemore, DeRosa, and Martinez. Sizemore walked in the first inning. Outside 1-0.
Kenny, we were talking about Ryan Garko out in right field last inning and how deep he was playing. And one of the important things as an outfielder is to know whether you go back on a ball well or you're more comfortable coming in on the ball.
I don't even know if Garko knows that.
Well,
this is his first game in the outfield.
Very uncomfortable, obviously, going back on the baseball.
Well, Johnny Damon's been doing a lot of backing up in left field. That one on the warning track puts it away, one down.
You know, I can recall years ago when we played in Montreal at Jerry Park, and it was very close in right field. And Gene Mock was the manager, and he told me, play shallow. And he said, when Willie Stargell comes up, play shallow. You might catch a line drive. And I said, well, why shallow? Willie Stargell, one of the greatest power hitters of all time. If he hits one, you're not going to get it anyway.
If it's over your head in the shorter ballparks, then it's out of the park anyway. So it makes a lot of sense.
Here's Mark DeRosa. Most pitchers would rather their outfielders play shallow.
Yeah, I mean, most pitchers say that until they hit one over your head and the guy's round and base. I'd say the tough one is Fenway Park because you, as an outfielder, you keep looking over at the line. And
that one was off DeRosa's foot.
You keep looking over at the line and it plays so shallow because of the pesky pole right there. But then you have so much room behind you that it's a sure triple if you let the ball get over your head.
Is that the most difficult right field? That was for me. Yeah,
I think so because of the awkward dimension, and also it's just because you're not used to having that much room directly behind you and so little room to your left towards the line.
DeRosa's been one of the hottest. He's 7 for 17 in this series. He's got 15 runs batted in on the season, which is second in the league. And he's only hitting 255 to start this.
He's not even hot yet.
No.
Well, so many people said that the Cubs are a good team, but they're going to miss DeRosa a lot. And it was a money move. They had spent a lot of money. They signed Milton Bradley, and they just didn't want to bring back DeRosa at that money.
DeRosa can play like 4 or 5 different positions.
Soft ground ball to third. Ransom. And there are 2 outs.
That hurts even more after you foul the ball off your foot. You have to run hard to first and then run back to the dugout. Don't even get a hit out of it. Here it is, another sinker in. Almost pulled it right down on his foot again. DeRosa, born in Passaic, New Jersey. Went to Bergen Catholic High School. On to the University of Pennsylvania. Now he's got a hurting puppy.
It's a Victor Martinez outside, 1-0.
It's in Jersey yesterday. Secaucus. Been to Secaucus?
I've been through there.
Yeah. Guy came up to me and said, I was very surprised you were here. I was listening to the game yesterday. You and Michael were supposed to be on the bleachers. I said,
he just doesn't know our relationship.
I said, that's on-air conversation.
We don't even talk to each other off the air. Well, he is really, really hurting.
That doesn't feel good any time of the year, particularly when it's a little cooler. Burnett has shown pretty good movement on his fastball today. He's got that little sink working. He's also got that nasty breaking ball that runs in on the hands of the left-handed hitter. So it almost as if you're up there as a left-handed hitter. You got to pick the fork in the road. Which way is this pitch going to go? Away from me in a fastball. There's going to be a hard breaking ball coming in on it. What did Yogi say? When you get to the fork in the road, take it.
I was in Central Park yesterday because of the nice days, just walking around, and a guy came up to me and said, "Well, where's O'Neill?" I said, "He went to get me ice cream. He'll be back in a second."
What do you thought of? You were taking me a walk or something? I got off my leash and went to get some ice cream. That was really turned around.
A 2-2. That used to annoy John Sterling when we worked together for 10 years. He'd be out. People go, "Where's Michael Caine?" He'd look in his pocket. "Oh, I lost him." Victor Martinez has been hot. 12 hits in his last 28 at-bats. And he's got a full count against A.J. Burnett. Cody Ransom way off the line at third for Martinez swinging from the left side. The outfield straight away. And the 3-2. Hit sharply. Oh, what a grab by Teixeira. He steps on the bag, took a base hit away from Victor Martinez. Flashing some gold glove action right there. That's an outstanding play to the backhand side. Quick move to his right. Tough hop. Stays with it and then steps on the bag himself for the final out of the inning. Just a great play by Teixeira. Memories of Mattingly and Martinez. A sparkler at first base by Mark Teixeira, two-time Gold Glove winner in 05 and 06. And he showed from Victor Martinez. Matsui leads off against Pavano, and there's a strike.
Take a look at this real speed. A hot shot off the bat of Victor Martinez. And nice little 360 glove play by Mark Teixeira.
It was a tough hop that made it an unbelievable play.
Well, first of all, he had to get low down where the hop was going to be and just flashed 11, made the play. Good hands.
The thing about those plays, you don't have time to think these plays out. They're just reactions. I mean, that ball was hit so hard, but that's just thousands of ground balls before the games that allows you to make that play in the game.
And Pavano deals the 0-2. Just missed. One more look at this great play. And Martinez is going to be seeing us in a sleep. Especially if he loses the batting title by a point. And the 1-2. Again tries to pull an outside pitch, and Matsui is out 4-3. On the Modell's scoreboard, the Indians lead the Yankees 1-0, and Modell's is the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees. Now here's Cody Ransom. Cody hitting 139. And his on-base percentage is 184. Line drive deep center. Sizemore back and puts it away.
Grady Sizemore got a good break on that. They say the hardest ball for an outfielder to catch is the one hit directly at you. You don't know which shoulder to turn and retreat. But Grady Sizemore has won a Gold Glove the last 2 years. And he gets a good break on it, then turns, squares up, and makes the catch. He's got a good chance to be an MVP one day. I just think the fact that he's a good all-around player, steals bases, plays defense, and can hit.
Another one of those kids when you talk to before the game that seems to just have everything in sight, but in a good way. I mean, speaks to people, pretty much humble, but still, I mean, just a good, solid player, loves to play the game. You can tell the guys that come out and just love to play the game. And Grady Sizemore, to me, is one of those guys.
I was talking to Luke Akuza Jr., who runs the visiting clubhouse, and Grady Sizemore's name came up. He said you can't find a nicer guy in the league.
Right.
And since Lou's dad and I go back away, I'll take his word for it.
And Luke Akuza Jr. is one of the nice guys in the world. So if he thinks this guy's one of the nice guys in the league, wow. That's some nice visitors clubhouse too. We talk about the Yankee clubhouse, so beautiful. The visitors clubhouse, they did a great job as well.
You know what? To get to the field now, you can go through the visitors clubhouse. It's like taking the express lane, man. You can go right through. Everything works out well.
It's actually a nice thing to do because at the old Boston Garden, the visitors locker room was a hole. It had like nails on the wall to hang, and they used to turn the heat up. I mean, the visitors are actually comfortable here. Better than some home clubhouses.
Well, that's why you got a players association. You're not going to go for stuff like that. I mean, this is supposed to be the big leagues.
That is big league, though. Count 2-2 on Molina.
A nail?
They would have a nail. You'd have to hang your suit on a nail. And they would turn the heat up, and people would be sweating.
At least your suit would have the wrinkles out of it.
Yes, that's true. That steam effect. The 2-2. Served into right field. They give Garco a try, and he does not look comfortable, but puts it away for the final out of the third. How about Carl Pavano? You think he's enjoying this? 3 innings of work against the Yankees. 9 up, 9 down. Garco puts away the third out. We go to the fourth. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Sponge Tech, the world's leading ultimate one-step wash and wax system, and by Acura. Acura Advance. Wind whipping up here at the new Yankee Stadium as Travis Hafner leads off. He had a single in the first, single to left field. There's a strike. He's homered in 3 straight games.
Robinson Cano with a one-man shift. You can see him out in short right field with the pull hitting Travis Hafner at the plate. That kind of tells you he doesn't think Hafner's going to bunt.
No, that pitch right there will get your attention as left-handed, because I mean that ball's right at your kneecap, and it's not. There's a difference of trying to bust in off the plate or trying to throw strikes, and the guys that try to throw strikes inside are the guys that scare you, because you know they'll come back in.
Home plate umpire twits there. Like he wanted to call a strike. Jerry Crawford did not.
How many pitches have we seen low and in today where people are moving their feet around a little bit? That's, I think these hitters, they're swinging back pretty well, make them feel a little uncomfortable. Remember, I think it was my rookie year, and I just pulled the ball foul in the right field at Wrigley Field, hit it across the street foul. The next pitch was up and in, and I eventually walked. I got to first base, and Jim Hickman was the first baseman for the Cubs. He said, "Don't be mad." He showed you a little respect there.
Remember who the pitcher was?
No. No, I don't really. I don't. I knew it wasn't Fergie Jenkins because he was getting me out.
No reason to walk in.
Yeah.
We're in the 4th inning. Carl Pavano has been perfect through 3. Has not allowed a hit to the Yankees. And the 2-2. Fights it off and fouls it off.
You see hitters with tentative swings. It tells you the pitcher's got pretty good stuff.
Well, AJ's been down in the zone, and you saw Molina on the last pitch giving that real high target. And catchers do things for a reason. I mean, you change the plane of where you're looking. And now either his curveball down and in or his sinker away down. He's set up both of those pitches.
The 2-2 hit sharply at short. Jeter stays with a tough hop from the outfield grass. There's one away. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. And the question is, who was the last player to hit 2 home runs in his first game at Yankee Stadium, as a Yankee, not at Yankee Stadium, as a Yankee? And we will find out in the bottom of the year.
You know this one?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah. How about admitting that? Isn't that nice?
It wasn't recent.
Breaking ball away to Peralta.
Well, if it wasn't recent, then I could throw. I was thinking of Spencer. Didn't he come up here and get a bunch of home runs real quick?
Yeah, 10 home runs in September, yeah. But you know, Paul, you can lose your job trying to guess here. You cannot guess these things. You have to let people
they said
guess.
It wasn't recent. I wasn't guessing. I'm just throwing out a wrong answer. That's not guessing, is it?
Ground ball to third. Ransom. There's 2-way, but one man's recent is another man's like long time ago. That was 98, Spencer, right?
Yeah.
And I think of those 10 home runs, 3 of them were grand slams. It does show you one thing, how you can get figured out in baseball. Kevin Moss broke into the big leagues that way, hit all these home runs, and then pitchers figured him out, and he didn't figure them back out. And the same thing with Shane Spencer. I mean, he lasted a lot longer than Kevin Moss, but never at that rate, 10 home runs in 1 month.
This game is a game of constant adjustments. I mean, if you're doing well, they're going to try and figure out something else to get you out, and then you have to adjust to it.
If you have the ability to.
Yeah, that's true. I think you got to have a certain amount of smarts to hit a baseball. I mean, it's not just all reaction. You know, anticipation.
Along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill, I'm Michael Kay, and you're watching Yankees baseball here on the YES Network. We thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. We're in the top of the 4th inning, and the Indians lead 1-0 on a home run by the man at the plate, Sin-Soo Choo. The 1-1. 2-1. What you also always find is if a guy spent a long time in the minor leagues and then breaks onto the scene in a big way, they usually come back down to earth. I mean, you're not in the minor leagues because somebody doesn't like you. Yeah. You're in the minor leagues for a long time because people think there are holes in your game. So when you see somebody who's like 27 years old, then all of a sudden they burst upon the scene, in all likelihood they're going to come back down to earth. I mean, we saw that in Cody Ransom. And Cody Ransom was hitting home runs out early because all they kept doing was throwing him fastballs. Then they started mixing and breaking balls, and he's been struggling.
But Kenny, I mean, don't you think once you get to the major league and you get adjusted to being here and all the nervousness and everything's gone, it's actually easier to hit in the major leagues than it is in the minor leagues?
Yeah, because pitchers are more around the plate. I also think that once you settle down as an everyday player and you know when you come to the ballpark, no matter how poorly you played the day before, you're going to play again the next day, that's when you feel comfortable. Right?
And my point is the lights are better, the ballparks are better. I mean, it's easier to see the baseball.
Background. Nick Burnett thought he had called strike 3 there on Choo. Here's this last pitch. Ball will move back towards the corner. Jerry Crawford, I believe he got it right. Jerry's been around a long time.
3-2. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So Choo walks.
Here's a little check swing by Choo, and this will be the second base on balls allowed by A.J. Burnett this afternoon. And Choo is one of those Cleveland Indians who will run, and this might be the time for him with the 2 outs. Try and get himself into scoring position. Ryan Garco, first day in the outfield.
He's already had a play out there. You could see him laughing on the way in.
Yeah, so. You know. Might open up a whole new arena for him.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is why he's in the lineup. Because of that bat in his hand. It's not because of what he does in right field. But, you know, he's a pretty good solid hitter. And, you know, he's a guy that can drive in runs for you.
He tied with Sizemore for the team lead last year in runs batted in. And really, like the whole rest of the team, came on strong at the end of the season. You see that choking up? You don't see that very often. I don't remember choking up after Little League. Going for it.
The ironic thing, the all-time home run leader, Barry Bonds, choked up an awful lot on the bat.
Yeah, he did. Supposedly get more bat control, choking up on the bat.
Snap throw by Molina. Choo is back.
You know, it's one thing embarrassing enough to get picked off by a pitcher. To get picked off by a catcher, that's one step further.
Worse.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Driven deep to left field. Fair ball. It's trouble. It is gone. A home run. Ryan Garco right down the line. A 2-run shot, and it is 3-0 Tribe. 19 home runs now in these 4 games, and that is a new major league record for the most home runs ever in the first 4 games in the opening of a new ballpark.
This ball right here, we talked about him choking up. Well, he was quick inside. I mean, that's a good fastball in, and he got to it. And again, this isn't a ballpark home run. This ball was lined, and that ball's going to end up in the seats in any park they play in this year. We talked about the Cleveland Indians coming into this series where they 2-7, struggling. Had a couple good games, and all of a sudden things start turning, and you wonder how in the world you got yourself in that position. pitch by pitch. I mean, he had a pitch to hit there. He just fouled it off. Pitch up out of the zone. A lot of hard stuff in this at bat. Never kind of changed speeds, and he got to that ball inside.
First home run of the year.
The 0-1 to Shopping. 0-2. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning.
I think about being in right field more often.
Feels like a power hitter out there. If you think about it, I mean, it's probably a total attitude adjustment in that locker room now with the Cleveland Indians. They came in here losing, they lost the first 5 games of the year. So back on track, get to go home and play a lot of games coming up here at home.
Well, number one, they're a better team than that.
Yeah,
they're better than 0-5. It just something wasn't clicking right to that first week of the season. I think the first time in their history they went 0-5.
All right. You weren't part of that Baltimore team that started off so
good. No, that was way after me.
No? What was it, like 0-17 or something?
I think
21.
0-21.
Wow. That's kind of hard to make up, isn't it?
Yeah, the season was over. By that time, I was doing the local sports, and the station in Baltimore sent me to Milwaukee, where they were about ready to break the record, and they did. You go in the locker room, I mean, it's quiet as all get out. You got to interview Frank Robinson, the manager.
It's got to be horrible.
And I asked him a question. I said, what do you want to tell the fans of Baltimore? He said, just stay with us.
Driven out to right field, Nick Swisher is there, and that'll do it here in the 4th. But the Indians add 2 more runs. A 2-out walk to Chu. And then Ryan Garco takes a pitch inside and drives it right down the left field line. A 2-run shot, his first home run of the year. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees trail 3-0. Actually started an opening day for the Yankees back in 2007. It was against the Tampa Bay then Devil Rays, and he didn't get a decision in that game. The Yankees won the game. But Pavano ascended to the opening day starter role because of injuries to a couple of pitchers, kind of backed into it. So he had a prominent role, at least at the start of that season, then got hurt. He went 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's pitching a no-hitter going into the 4th inning. In fact, he's pitching a perfect game in the count 0-2 to Gardner.
A couple of strikeouts along the way through the first 9 hitters. He struck out Gardner, leading off the ball game in the bottom of the first.
Struck him out with a backdoor curveball last time. Let's see if he goes to the same pattern. Looks like he's going to switch it up a little bit.
High fly ball. Right center coming on Sizemore. And there's one away. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz question. Who was the last player to hit 2 home runs in his first game as a Yankee? And the answer is Roger Maris.
Roger Maris.
And that was 49 years ago today. And he went on to win the MVP that year and the next year. The next year he hit 61 home runs, which many people are now again considering the single season home run record. Here's Derek Jeter.
You know, what is the home run record? That's funny you bring that up, Michael, because when he did that, a lot of people talked about that because he had extra games from Babe Ruth.
Right.
So, I mean,
he had 8 more games than Ruth.
How many times can you argue the home run record?
You see what Maris did with the Yankees. Just 7 seasons with the Yankees. 5-time All-Star. We mentioned the back-to-back AL MVPs, 61 and 61, and 203 home runs with the Yankees. 14th all-time on the Yankee list.
Back in the days of the M&M boys, Maris and Merrill.
People forget he was also a great outfielder. The 1-1. Missed outside. See, the 3 home runs by Jeter. Didn't hit his 3rd till June of last year. That one's lined into right center field. Sizemore dives. Cannot make the play. It gets past him, and it goes to the wall. Jeter's on second. The Yankees' first hit. So Pavano had retired the first 10, and Jeter snaps the no-hitter and the perfect game with the double to right center.
A good effort by Sizemore, but this ball is slicing away from him. And as you can see, he gives you all-out effort with the perfect game on the line, as he should. And Ryan Garko is now officially an outfielder because he has to retrieve a ball up against the wall. There's the effort. Comes up short, gets by Sizemore, and Garko comes into your picture behind him. Until you have to retrieve, you're not really an outfielder.
Sizemore, from the minute that ball hit the bat, you could tell the line that he took, that it was a make or break dive. He didn't loop around it to try to cut it off. And with Derek's speed, obviously, even if you round that ball off, good chance he's going to get a double.
Here's Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon, usually players don't say anything harsh about a teammate, but Johnny Damon had some very harsh words about Chien-Ming Wang's performance in yesterday's game, and you just don't expect a teammate to say and be as forthright as Johnny Damon was. You can't knock the guy for being honest, but we saw it across town. Johan Santana said it about Daniel Murphy dropping a ball and losing him a game. And Johnny Damon did not cut any corners when he went after Chien-Ming Wang. He didn't say it in a nasty way or a harsh way, but the words do bite. What he said was he's making it real tough on our bullpen right now because we have to count on guys in our pen to go 7 or 8 innings. We have 6 losses on the year. He's got 3 of them, and in all 3 of those games, we've been blown out and had to go to our bullpen. So maybe our bullpen's not sharp the following days. I don't know what more to say, but hopefully he can figure it out. But it would be tough to keep going on like this.
Well, all that is true. But I think one thing, if you're Wong and you can't get upset, he didn't say anything about his effort. He didn't say that he's not trying. And I think that's when teammates start to say you're not trying, and then those are fighting words.
That kind of strikes a nerve.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees.
Well, it's baseball season, Kane. When I start hearing that disclaimer right there, I know it's baseball. Every once in a while, it goes through my mind in the offseason. I haven't heard Michael read that in a long time.
I will call you up for Christmas next year and read it.
Just text me. I don't want to talk to you.
Only 140 characters I could send. The 0-2. A little bit low, 1-2.
This is the first time that Pavano's had to pitch out of the stretch today, and see, you know, if the Yankees can make him feel a little uncomfortable. He's got to be a little bit uncomfortable in a runner in scoring position, but now you got to get him home.
Mike, I don't think you were in the booth, but Kenny and I were talking. They've done some little home improvements over the weekend. They painted above the batter's eye out there. They painted it blue where that was concrete out in center field.
And that was by request of Jorge Posada, who said that he was getting some glare from some areas out there. Two-two. Sliced right at the third baseman, DeRosa. Across the diamond, they get Damon, and Jeter stays put at second. Now let's take a look at the before and after. It's white there now. And now it's blue. So the side there has changed. And Posada also said, you see the covering on the railings out there, the glint from the sun was affecting him, so they covered it with that plastic. Still a work in progress. Here's Mark Teixeira. There's a strike. When the Yankees were building this place, the windows that cover the Mohegan Sun bar out there, they tested it every minute of the day to see how sun would reflect off it and if it would go into the batter's eye. And the way the windows are situated, the type of glass they used, it will not reflect at all.
And still give the patrons a chance to see the ball game.
Right.
Kenny, I mean, you remember there's nothing worse than having a park that you can't see in. And these new parks are so much better because the background is given so much attention. And back to the minor leagues, I mean, some of those fields you can't pick up the baseball. I mean, if you can't pick up the seams, then you're not going to hit it.
I think at the old Yankee Stadium, they used to let people sit in the black seats before the stadium was refurbished, and they changed that.
Fenway Park, to me, against a lefty in a day game is probably as bad as I remember at the major league level.
And now they don't let people sit there during day games.
And it's funny because a couple of years ago, you know, Fenway Park is small, so they're trying to maximize how many people they can get in there. They started selling the seats in dead center field, and they gave people green T-shirts so that they would fit into the background, but still, they didn't paint their faces green. So after that, they just closed that section off, especially in the day. Now they open up different seats at night. The 1-2. Foul back.
Pavano so far is doing a pretty good job moving the ball around. He kept everything away until that last pitch. He wanted that to be the put-away pitch to Teixeira. It came inside, and Teixeira was a little quick, fouled it off.
The 1-2. Hit sharply and past the lunging Martinez in the right. Here comes Jeter. He'll score. Yankees are on the board. RBI single for Mark Teixeira. And the Indian lead is now 3-1.
Teixeira, one of your main RBI guys in the middle of the lineup, and these are the ones that you remember, the 2-out RBIs. He took something off of it, and Teixeira reached for it, but stayed on it enough to drive it through the right side.
That's some pretty good hitting right there, because he was somewhat off balance, but keeps his hands back just enough. It looked like that ball was fading off the plate. Victor Martinez with the leap, can't come up with it. And Teixeira has his 7th run batted into the year.
And that'll bring up Nick Swisher, who has 11 ribbies on the year. That leads the Yankees.
Teixeira now 4 hits away from 1,000 for his career. Just 4 for a nice round number.
Nick Swisher, as people have caught on by now, very chatty. Has never met a sentence that he didn't like to utter. And it's played well in the the Yankee clubhouse so far. But I heard a story that when he was at Ohio State, he talked so much. There was a short bus ride from Columbus, Ohio. They were playing another college, and his teammate said, $50 if you do not open your mouth for the bus ride. And he said it took him everything, but he wanted the 50 so much that he kept his mouth shut and then just burst out once the door was open to the bus. Nick and his dad, former first-round draft picks. So how rare is that? Father and son. His dad, Steve Swisher. You faced him, right? You might have.
I think he was international as an American. It might have. Who did his dad played?
Cubs.
The Cubs. Yeah, it might have. No, what?
The 1-2. Missed outside. Swisher struck out looking in the second. All 12 games, he's reached base safely. Two-two. Swung on a miss. He struck him out. Challenged him with a fastball, and Swisher goes down swinging. But the Yankees are finally on the board. Hits and runs. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left. Let's go to the 5th. 3-1 Tribe. The stadium, the Indians lead the Yankees 3-1. On the Lexus scoreboard, 3-3-0, leading 1-2-0. And as Jubal Cabrera leads off against A.J. Burnett, the pitch is low and inside, 1-0. And the pitch. There's a strike.
Ryan Ruocco has determined that I would have played against Steve Swisher when he was with the Cubs in '74.
Right.
And I was with Montreal. And cross paths.
He probably called a pitch that you hit out for a home run.
Maybe not.
Come on, it was Wrigley.
It was Jerry Park, too.
The 2-1. A little bit low, 3-1. There's the strike. The Cabrera tried to work a leadoff walk from the number 9 spot, and the count is full. That one gets past Molina as Cabrera does work a walk. Hey, Yankee fans, go to MetLife.com/Yankees for your chance to present the MetLife Player of the Month Award on the field at Yankee Stadium. Simply visit MetLife.com/Yankees for official rules. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited, and sweepstakes sponsor is Metropolitan Life Insurance Company.
Early in the month, that's still it's kind of winding down here, but that award's still up for grabs. Huh?
I'd say it's between the guy on the mound and the guy in right field.
The one certain I can guarantee you it's not going to be
Chien-Ming Wang?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to come back that strong that quick. You never know, though, man.
Not enough time.
Yeah.
Unless he throws a couple of no-hitters.
You like Ryan Ruocco, don't you, Kenny?
He's a great kid.
Well, he just dug out a stat that you're going to hate him. You're going to elbow him through his teeth. He's right on your left, and your left elbow is going to go right into his teeth after I read this.
Well, not every day was a good day, Michael.
The 1-0. He said on June 28th of 1974, the Cubs and the Expos played an 18-inning game.
Wow.
The Cubs won 8-7.
Uh-huh.
Steve Swisher went 3 for 7 with a home run.
Wow.
And you went 0 for 7 with 3 strikeouts.
Well, you know, like I said, what was that hitting on that day?
Somebody's got to make some outs.
Elbow him. Come on, Kenny. You're on camera.
What was my batting average that day?
Hey, the games are going all night. Somebody has to make the outs once in a while, Kenny, right?
I was hitting 280.
Count 2-1.
So prior to the game, I was probably hitting closer to 290.
Yeah. Thinking about hitting 300 if I get hot and you walk out. Oh, man, here we go.
18 innings.
I tell you what, there was nothing worse than having a doubleheader in that first at bat. You felt horrible because you knew it wasn't going to be an 0 for 4 you were going to try to stumble through. It was you get 7, 8 at bats in a day and you're not feeling real good. That's a tough day.
I lost 8 points that day.
That's all.
Driven out to right field deep, going back. Swisher still back, and he makes the play in front of the auxiliary scoreboard for the first out. So Sizemore gave it a ride, but Swisher ran it down.
You remember I was talking about? That you really felt comfortable as a player when you had a real bad day, no matter how poorly you played, you're going to play the next day? I was probably in there the next day. Here's a nice catch by Swisher in front of the warning track. And Grady Sizemore, I mean, this guy's a good player. Hits this one well. Swisher gets it back in quickly. It's going to get to the point when anything's hitting that direction, fans are just going to say,
well, you hear the sound of the bat there. I mean, the only reason that ball wasn't elevated was more of a line drive, so it didn't get out of here. But, you know, you talk about pitchers, and again, you get back to the sound off that bat. I mean, that ball was struck well. But you're going to get to the point where if this ballpark continues to play this way, you're even going to see some of the pitchers, you know, change the way they pitch home and away.
See, that's a danger, though. I mean, if you have a pitcher pitch a different way, home and away. And also, you've got to have a pitcher have a place where he can go.
Right. I mean, in the old ballpark, you always tried to keep the ball in the middle of the field. You know, 385 to 399 in left center to right center. But even, you know, in the gap in right field, right center, you had to hit the ball. I mean, obviously, if you hooked the ball down the lines, left or right of the old stadium, it was a good place to hit home runs. But the gaps here is what seems to be playing short. And gaps in ballpark is where a lot of the balls go.
Along with Paul O'Neill and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network on this Sunday afternoon. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and the Indians lead the Yankees 3-1. The 0-2. Just missed. Burnett wanted that one. So did Molina.
Get another look at it here. The target is low and away, and You see Molina bring the ball back in just a hair. That looked like it caught the corner anyway.
High fly ball, right field. Swisher is there. 2 outs. Joe Girardi show coming up after the game. Joe addressed all the things that have been going on about this week and Chien-Ming Wang's struggles and the way the ballpark plays. This is definitely a must-watch for Yankee fans. W.B. Mason presents the Joe Girardi show after the game. That one's driven down the right field line, but a foul ball.
Now here's a guy that Cleveland really missed last year. He only played 73 games. Eventually had to have elbow surgery, and that really took a big bat out of their lineup. I mean, he's a 2-time All-Star. You can see what he's doing so far this year. He's 0 for 2 today, but started the day hitting .388. Number 3 hitter, switch hitter, can catch, can play first base. Team leader. Didn't like that curve.
Feeling bad in that sentence. Now I mean, if you went down and put on paper, he's their best hitter. I mean, productive-wise, Grady Sizemore's a great all-around player. But as far as an offensive threat, day in and day out, switch hitter, this guy right here can just fly out here.
Keeping Cabrera close. Want to get it right, so Molina goes out and talks with Burnett.
You know, these two have worked together in all 3 of the starts now. That this seems to be the day that Jorge Posada gets a day off, when Burnett's on the mound, at least so far. You know, Joe Girardi hasn't made that commitment to, you know, this is going to be the tandem every time that Burnett pitches. But right now, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The 0-2. That one gets away from Molina. The throw to second. And Cabrera's in there.
Good base running by Cabrera. I mean, your job as a runner, especially with 2 outs, is to watch for that ball in the dirt. And if you see that ball in the dirt, to not hesitate to see how far it's going away from the catcher. Molina did everything he could. Cabrera got too good of a jump seeing that ball in the dirt. Immediately, don't hesitate, go. I mean, it takes the catcher too long to pick up that ball and make a good throw.
Scored as a wild pitch.
So now Cabrera in scoring position. The 1-2. Ground ball to second. Cano right there. And that's going to do it in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 4 1/2. We're halfway through. Yankees down by 2. on Yes is brought to you in part by Toyota, the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees, J&R Music and Computer World, and by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and the Tribe leads the Yankees 3-1. Cano leads off, and he lines one down the right field line, but foul. Might have broken his bat, and it looks as if he did. Cano grounded to second in the second.
Always strange for me to see. I mean, Cano, he walks up there with a natural finished bat, breaks it, and then grabs a black bat. There was a difference to me. Could you ever hit with a black bat?
I never did. I always had the natural finish. Used the same bat for about 12 of my 15 years in major leagues. Same model, bat left-handed or right-handed, use the same bat.
You thought there was a difference? If the color was different?
You know what? I might have been nuts. I don't know. Don't even talk about it. But I couldn't see that. I lost the bat. I got so accustomed to the natural finish, and you could see the ball off the bat
in the outfield.
And when I got to the plate, it was like I lost the bat, and I didn't see the ball come off the bat of the dark bat.
That one is punched out to shallow center, and Peralta makes the play. There's one down on the Lexus scoreboard. It's 3-1 Indians. Now, Sizemore didn't get a read off that one, Paul. He took a step back, had a long way to go, but that's why Peralta made the catch in a fairly normal center field.
Looked like an off-speed pitch, had Cano out in front, and you can see Peralta going back. You're right, Michael. Usually you see Grady Sizemore get better breaks than that one. He kind of froze, so it was up to Peralta to make the play, and he did.
Here's Matsui. Pitch low, 1-0.
Despite the fact that Matsui is hitting only 152, he has a respectable on-base percentage of 351. So he's been getting some walks. That's not a good swing.
Popped up. Peralta. Two-way. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees continue their homestand with the first of 3 against the A's. The coverage is going to start at 6 with batting practice today presented by Audi. And then the pregame. Then Ken Singleton, Al Leiter, and I have all the action. A's Yankees, it all starts tomorrow night at 6 only on Yes. So we'll see Al for the first time tomorrow.
Got to head back home.
I'm just worried Al might end up at the old stadium. You never know.
Take a right, go left.
Has he read about this new place?
Oh, my goodness.
Count 1-1. Ransom flied out to center. That was in the third. Carl Pavano sporting a goatee, which he was not allowed to have here at the stadium. 65 pitches, 42 strikes. And tries to pull an outside pitch and grounds it to Peralta. A 1-2-3 inning for Carl Pavano and the Indians. He did it on just 8 pitches. We go to the 6th inning. 3-1 Indians on Yes. And it's time for a fresh brewed cup of coffee. At Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason, who but? Well, we go to the 6th inning here at the stadium, and the Yankees are trailing 3-1. It'll be Hafner, Peralta, and Chu. Pitch outside from Burnett. What Burnett has done every single time he's followed up with Chien-Ming Wang shaky performances, he's given the Yankees the length they so desperately need so that they don't burn out the bullpen. And that really, win or lose, that's a really important thing. Check this out. The Yankee bullpen has pitched 34 1/3 innings so far this year, and 19 of those innings are in relief of Chien-Ming Wang.
More than half.
You know, in our pregame, Michael, we talked about, you know, what do you do with Chien-Ming Wang, especially with this next start coming up in Boston. And I mean, this is a decision that Joe Girardi would never even think about going into the season. Am I going to have to worry about starting Chien-Ming Wang his 4th start into the season? I mean, some things as a manager you go over and think there's a possibility I'm going to have to, you know, do something different here. I don't think coming into the year that Chien-Ming Wang was one of those words.
The 2-1. Foul boy.
Well, the side session is going to be very important the next time, as it is just about every time. I mean, you got to get him back on track. Here's a guy who, prior to last year, had won more games than any other pitcher the previous 2 seasons in the whole league. And it was relied on to be a big winner again this year. So, you know, he's had some stretches before where he hasn't looked particularly good, but right now, mechanically, he's just fouled up. It's almost like you got to take him in for a tune-up in between starts. Find the right combination.
And you know, despite that, then you look at Burnett, and everything is positive. Pettit's thrown the ball exceptionally well. Sabathia, you know, he's been good, and he's also battled. So you see what you're going to get out of him, and so you know you have bright spots, but it's just that one thing you didn't expect.
Breaking ball, strike 3. Great pitch by Burnett, catching the outside corner to get Hafner looking.
You ever walk back to the dugout, Kenny, from a strikeout, and you're just saying to yourself, wow, I had no chance of hitting that pitch. Well, that was one of them right there. And A.J. Burnett, on any given at-bat, any given pitch, any given day, can throw things like this that major league hitters have no chance of hitting.
Yeah, we mentioned in the scouting report, nasty breaking ball, and I think Travis Hafner would agree with us on that one.
Peralta takes a pitch outside. Count 2-0. $86 pitches for Burnett. 52 strikes. You have to look at different pitchers in different ways when it comes to pitch counts. Because I asked Joe Girardi before the game today about letting Chien-Ming Wang, or not Chien-Ming Wang, letting CC Sabathia go 122 pitches. I said he was at 105 or 104 after 5 innings. He said we truly believe that he's a 120 pitch guy. He's a big, strong guy. He wants to go 150 every time. He said, so we're going to limit him to 120, but it's going to be different than other pitches or other pitchers because it's a different type of guy, different strength level, different size. So don't be alarmed to see him at 120 when other pitchers might not go that high. I don't know if they look at Burnett that way. Well, he's had a history of arm problems.
Yeah, certainly more so than CC has had in the past, but also Burnett can be a big strikeout guy, and that has a way sometimes of elevating your pitch count. Today, though, he's only got 2 strikeouts.
And he has 4 walks when he had only had 1 walk in each of the previous 2 games. And he also has hit a batter, so his command is not as sharp as it was. in the previous 2 starts. Here's Chu. One of those walks and a home run. Boy, this guy does not get cheated.
Watch how quick he is with the bat on the inside corner on this one. He's got 2 hits in this series, and both of them are home runs. You come all the way from Korea, you're not going to get cheated. Just swing the bat. Well, he now has a off-season home in Buckeye, Arizona. I guess it's somewhere near Phoenix.
Buckeye. I didn't think Buckeye was in Ohio.
Yeah.
Buckeye, Arizona, too.
Settlement probably started from an Ohio State alum.
There you go. We were just strolling Central Park yesterday.
Minding my own business.
Heading to dinner. I know you went to a good dinner. Where'd you go to dinner last night?
Italian place, the O2. Count 1 and 2. Saw a movie.
Man, you're just an average guy.
Some might say below average. One, 2. Count 2 and 2. Now, you played all those years with the Yankees. You come back every year broadcast. Have you ever been in Central Park?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
You know why? We went through the carriage ride, and I had so much fun listening to the Irish brogue that most of the drivers in the carriages.
Nice play. There's one. On the first double play. An outstanding 4-6-3 double play started by Robinson Cano with a nice feed to Jeter, and then Jeter back to Teixeira. That is the way to turn 2. Slick, quick, and effective. We'll find out about that carriage ride in just a moment. Time for another look at today's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question is, what is the most hitter-friendly American League ballpark? You've been texting to 58772. You know, standard text messaging rates apply. And these are the results. 51% feel like Eric Wedge feels. Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, and 20% Oriole Park at Camden Yards, 18% for Progressive, and 11% for U.S. Cellular.
As I mentioned, U.S. Cellular a couple of years ago gave up the most home runs.
Is that a good park or a bad pitching staff?
A little bit of both, I think.
We can't let this go. Well, why were you in a carriage ride in Central Park?
Well, I mean, obviously it wasn't my first idea, but my wife talked me into going on the carriage ride, and I had more fun listening to most of them have that Irish accent. They've come over, and I'm telling you what, I had more fun. So we almost did like, you get back in line for the roller coaster.
Right.
Got off the carriage ride, and let's do that again. We just got another guy and did another loop. Pretty cool little thing.
Was it the whole family that went? Or?
A couple kids and mom.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, your feet have never touched ground at Central Park, though.
I think I have. We did a welcome home dinner at Tavern on the Green.
Oh, you're
didn't
right.
we?
That's right. That's right. The 2-1. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit off the bat of Jose Molina. Leadoff single by the number 9 batter in the Yankee order.
See, if Pavano gets one, he tried to run it in on his hands, but not quite enough. Look him bring those arms in and get the barrel of the bat on the ball and just force this one into center field for a leadoff base hit.
Good swing, and you're getting, all of a sudden you look under that scoreboard, you're getting to that point in the game where, you're getting a pretty good pitching performance, and offensively you got to start throwing some numbers up there. You got to get back into this game.
First time the leadoff batter's been on base for the Yankees in this game.
Gardner takes a backdoor breaking ball. Count 0-1. 71 pitches for Pavano. 46 strikes. Tried it again. This time pushed the envelope a bit too far. Count 1-1. Sliced the other way, a base hit off the bat of Gardner. And the Yankees with successive singles to open up the 6th. They've got it set up.
If Brett Gardner could just can this swing, this is the type of hitter he is. He can slap the ball the other way. Didn't overswing.
Let's take a look at the IOTV HD Super Shot, Paul.
And again, just see the ball away, slap it away. Even if you hit the, that ball where the shortstop gets to it in the hole, there's no way you're going to make a play on Brett Gardner.
Well, it really helps him because usually the third baseman is in close.
Right.
Gardner against the bunt. So that gives him even more room to slash the ball by the third baseman and get it into the outfield. Cleveland's looking for the bunt.
Jeter got the first hit for the Yankees. A double scored their only run. He's not bunting and takes a pitch high. 1-0. Rob Thompson, the third base coach, going through the signs.
DeRosa drops back a little further at third. He's about even with the bag, but Martinez at first, you can see he's still up looking for a bunt.
And the count 1-1. A matchup of former Marlins, Carl Pavano and A.J. Burnett. Josh Beckett was also on that staff. That was pretty good staff. Rafael Perez, the left-hander, pitched in the opener. Molina does not have great speed at second. A single probably doesn't score him. Count 2-1. And also he serves as a little bit of a speed bump for Brett Gardner.
It's been funny. I mean, Derek almost looks like he was taking these pitches, and you usually see him in the aggressive mode. It's almost like he's trying to get into a hit-and-run count, or he can try to drive the ball. It's not his usual at bat where he comes off the bench swinging.
This could be a double play. There's one, and there's two. Boy, Gardner really went into Peralta clean and hard, but did not get him to throw the ball away as Molina moves to third.
Again, G gets a ball away. Sometimes when you hit it hard right at him. Makes for an easy double play, but you're right, Michael. Brett Gardner gets in there quick with his speed. Peralta still able to turn 2-2. You got to have some velocity to go sliding 6-8 feet past the bag. You see that?
Well, Derek had 45 double plays the last 2 years, and he bangs into one right there. That's going to bring up Johnny Damon. Johnny's 0 for 2. First time ever he's batted in the number 3 hole for the Yankees. He's done it 93 times in his career, and he had 309 in those games. So that double play really pulls the plug out of the rally.
Look out.
And Damon gets pumped.
You can tell what Pavano was trying to do here, but the target was in. And Damon will take one just below the knee there off the shin. And that'll put the tying runs on base for Mark Teixeira. And we've got a hitter's scouting report on Mark Teixeira as he steps in. 203 home runs his first 6 seasons. That's the most ever for a switch hitter. And August 17th, 2004, hit for the cycle against Cleveland. And last year he had 402 in day games.
Pitch is high. Drove in the Yankees' only run in the 4th inning. A single over the head of Victor Martinez to right field, driving in Jeter.
So not even Mickey Mantle hit 203 home runs in his first 6 years as a switch hit.
Count 2-0.
We talked about Arlington, not a bad place to
break in. Start going deep.
There's a strike. Did not come right over the plate with the 2-0. Hit the outside corner, 2-1.
We saw Pavano's pregame numbers going back to his first couple starts, and he's obviously thrown the ball much better today. Some quality pitches. You just hope that you get him in a position where he can make a mistake as a Yankee fan and get back in this thing.
2-1. Breaking ball strike. And the count levels at 2-2.
Every once in a while you just kind of lock up as a hitter, and then you realize what you just missed. That ball was kind of a hanging breaking ball, the inside part of the plate. Shearer looking away, probably just saw that sinker away on the pitch before, but that's a good pitch to hit.
Runner goes. 2-2 is upstairs, a stolen base for Damon. So now the tying run is at second base for the Yankees. Along with Paul O'Neill and Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kane. You're watching Yankees baseball on Gas. Runners on second and third. Damon's second stolen base of the year. A 3-2 count on Teixeira. Pavano deals. Just missed outside. Bases loaded for Nick Swisher. And Eric Wedge looks like he's seen enough of Pavano.
So after falling behind on the count, 2-0, and then leveling off at 2-2, that one's high and away for ball 4.
Going to keep him in there. Looked like more of a pep talk than anything else. Maybe stronger than a pep talk. Pavano 85 pitches in 5 2/3. He's pitched well. 4 hits, a run, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. And he's handled Swisher very well. Struck him out looking in the second, then powered a fastball by him in the 4th. Moline at third, Damon at second. Teixeira is at first. Yankees are down 3-1. We are in the bottom of the 6th. Swisher has 4 grand slams in his career. Breaking ball strike.
You can see that some of these breaking balls this inning from Pavano have been up in the zone. Balls, you know, he was kind of snapping off early in the game, and they're kind of hanging. You see, there's not a lot of bite on that ball. That ball ends up in a pretty good hitting area.
Yeah, the only thing about it, it was obvious that Swisher was looking for something else.
Sure.
The 0-1. Check swing fouled away quickly. 0-2.
Came right back with another one. Might have taken some more off of it. Swisher's out in front, fouls it off.
Bases loaded, bottom of the 6th, 3-1. Indians over the Yankees. Yankees have actually out-hit the Indians 4-3, but the Indians have gotten their runs via the home run. Chu with a solo shot, Gargle with a 2-run shot.
He's gotten Swisher both times on strikeouts on off-speed pitches. So, you know, you see if the hitter adapts or if the pitcher goes at it in a different way. You know, it's a fastball away.
I might just show him that, just to say I've got one, but I'm not going to throw it to you for strikes. Cat and mouse game, and this is where the pressure is ratcheted up, both on the pitcher and the hitter. Bases loaded. Chance for the Yankees to get right back in the game if Swisher can come through.
1-2. He struck him out for the 3rd straight time. Another breaking ball. And he goes down swinging. Stranding 3. No runs. 2 hits. No errors. And the bases are left loaded. We go to the 7th. 3-1 try.
Sequence of pitches to Nick Swisher with the bases loaded. Carl Pavano looked like he went with the slow stuff. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. There's a changeup away, so there's a fastball, but not in the strike zone. Another off-speed pitch strikes him out. So he went to the slow stuff to punch out Nick Swisher for the 3rd time. And then a little conversation with Carl Willis, the pitching coach. Carl Willis has coached the last 2 Cy Young Award winners in the American League. Last year it was left-hander Cliff Lee. The year before that it was one of the newest Yankees, CC Sabathia. Ryan Garco's at the plate.
First pitch, up and in, 1-0. Garco, the difference in this game is 2-run home run in the 4th, as the Indians lead 3-1. Count now 2-0. No Indians pitcher this year, and now it's early, has gone more than 6 innings. So we'll see if they have Pavano get it out in the 7th at least. The 2-0. 3-0. Defense almost totally straight away all around. He walked him on 4 pitches. So the command, which had been so apparent the first 2 games, certainly not there in this game for A.J. Burnett, but he certainly kept the game close. Trevor Crowe is going to pinch run for Garco, and he'll stay in the game and play right field.
So Garco's first day as a outfielder in the major leagues. He's got a home run. That's a difference in the game. He had one fly ball in his direction.
Yeah.
And he caught that.
Backed up Sizemore on the double. He did it all right.
Yeah. But Trevor Crowe going to go in for defense.
Shopik tries to bunt, but bunts foul. You see Phil Koch and Jonathan Albaladejo throwing for the Yanks. Snap throw, and heading back is Crowe.
Another reason you throw over the first, sometimes the hitter will give you an inkling if he's going to bunt again. He might square around on that first movement by the pitcher. I didn't see any movement by Shopik on that. You know, sometimes when you have a bad bunt attempt, the manager says, let's scrap this. No, you're going to try again.
Another bad one.
Yeah, I was going to say, now, what do you do when you have 2 bad bunt attempts? You really scrap it, right?
Sometimes you get a punishment bunt sign. Get it again.
You can just tell some guys that just aren't accustomed to bunting. The game this day and age is so much different. Everybody doesn't have to bunt. It's just a few given guys that do bunt, and the rest of the guys are expected to drive in runs by swinging the bat.
That one blocked by Molina, but blocked forward as Crowe alertly goes to second. A wild pitch, so you don't need to bunt now.
Maybe not quite the command that Burnett has had in the past in this particular game. He's got 5 walks. And this one, Molina will keep in front of him, but far enough, almost halfway back to the mound, and Crowe can now be perched on second base.
Like one of Michael's right there.
Well, you learn from the best, you know.
Now Shopik would like to hit the ball on the right side. And it's the ball on the left side. Charging is Jeter. That doesn't get the job done as Crowe stays at second. After the final out, don't miss the WB Mason postgame. Bob Lorenz is back in the studio to bring you all the highlights from the series against the Indians and also a look around the major leagues. Plus, Kimberly Jones has the final say from the field and the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's right here on Yes. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Pitch outside. Cabrera had a grand slam yesterday. outside and high, and that'll move Crow over to third.
Once in a while, you know, a pitch just gets, and you've seen a breaking ball in the dirt for a wild pitch, and now that one just completely slips out of his hand. Infield in. Got to try to save every run at this point. We talked about we're starting to get late in the game.
Not much Molina could have done on that one, outside of being back there to begin with.
It's almost like that release where he blew out that window in Florida. Did you see that replay?
That was during warm-ups, yeah.
Talk about a pitch. It was in warm-ups, and they had a pickup truck driving behind, you know, an in-between inning thing, and absolutely blew the window out of it.
That one, I believe, was on purpose. The infield in.
Kind of a strange delivery to where it ended up. It was way on the left-handed batter's side.
They had the mascot in there, Billy Marlin, right?
Billy the Marlin.
Billy the Marlin.
I think he was aiming for Billy T. Marlin. 3-0. And Cabrera walks. Six walks. Today after the postgame, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show as the manager reflects on this home opening series against the Indians and then looks ahead to the A's and the Red Sox. It's the Joe Girardi Show today after the postgame. It's only on Yes. Six walks, one hit batter. As Dave Island will have a talk with Burnett.
Yeah, one of the problems here, you got Grady Sizemore coming to the plate as an RBI man out of leadoff spot. Plus, he's tough to double up because he has very good speed. He's hitting to one double play in this series, though.
Sizemore was part of the party. Opening day had a grand slam, threw another one up yesterday.
I'll tell you what, you don't want to score 22 runs and not be a part of the party. No.
Now this is the first time that Burnett has had six walks in a game since almost exactly a year ago, April 20th of last year. 106 pitches for Burnett, 58 strikes. Foul ball. He only has two strikeouts. He'd love one right here. As Kenny mentioned, he has it into a double play, Sizemore, in this series, but it's hard to get him to do that. Has to be hit right at an infielder and very, very, very sharply. Yankee pitching staff has given away a lot of free things in this series. 24 walks. And the count now 1-2.
The infield has changed. I mean, we had the infield in. Now you've kept the corners in, but Derek and Cano have gone back to double play. So your corner positions, because of Sizemore's speed, you know, if it's hit well, you'll try to turn two, but you can also read and get that guy at the plate.
One, two. Just missed, and you can see Molina held it there for Jerry Crawford to get a better look. Not as if he was going to change his mind, but to show him that he blew it.
Had a lot of movement on. A lot of times when you see a catcher's glove move that much, I mean, that had more of the plate than when he was holding the target.
2-2. It often seems that even if the ball is over the plate, if the catcher has to move his glove, if the pitcher missed his spot, the umpire will hold it against him and not call it a strike. And that might have been the case in that one.
You look at his lack of strikeouts and his walks, and if you look at what's happened, he's had his good fastball. It's just he hasn't been able to throw that breaking ball for strikes, and that's a good strikeout pitch for him. So that's where he's losing the strikeouts. and also getting behind people because he can't throw that. I mean, it's a good sharp breaking ball, but he can't get it in the strike zone today.
This gives the runner a chance to be on the move at first base too with the 3-2 count.
Runner goes. And another walk. That's his 7th walk on a breaking ball. Sizemore goes to first and the bases are loaded. Let's see if they let AJ finish this up. No, they will not, as Joe Girardi will take him out.
Sequence of pitches to Grady Sizemore outside for ball. Another fastball. That one's fouled off. Had good movement on it. Same pitch. Now ahead on the count. That one's the one that he wanted. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good stop by Molina. Goes to the breaking ball, and there's ball 4.
Well, that'll do it for A.J. Burnett. A subpar outing, but still it's just 3-1, but he leaves the bases loaded. Stay where you are. Well, fans, become part of the winning team by joining the New York Yankees fan club. For just $35, you'll receive an official membership card, New York Yankees inaugural season baseball, special ticket discounts, and other exclusive fan club items. To join, call 1-800-GO-YANKS or log on to Yankees.com today. Albaladejo comes on to face DeRosa. Bases loaded, and the pitch is inside 1-0.
Well, even though Burnett struggled today with the 7 base on balls, shows you how tough he is to hit. He gave up 3 hits. I know 2 of them were home runs, but as Paul pointed out, the inability to get his breaking ball where he wanted to has really spelled trouble for him this afternoon. But still, the Yankees are in the game.
At this point, I mean, right now you're looking at being in the game and not being in the game with, bases loaded and 1 out. If the bullpen can come in here, possibly give up 1 or get out without anything, you're in this game. You give up a couple base hits, and all of a sudden, you're fighting a big battle again.
1-1. Molina really battling behind the plate. Now the 7 walks for Burnett, the most he's had in a game since his no-hitter. That was in May 12, 2001. He had a no-hitter. He walked 9, the most walks ever in a no-hitter in big league history. The 2-1. 3-1, 1 pitch away from forcing in a run. 3-1 to DeRosa. Grounded softly to third. They're going to come home. They get the force. Nice play by Ransom.
Nice recognition by Ransom. There's no other place to go. They were not going to get a double play. The ball was not hit hard enough, so he decides almost immediately that there's only one play. That's to throw the ball to Molina, get the force on the runner. Trevor Crowe is forced at home plate, and now there are 2 outs, and the bases will remain loaded. Putting an accurate throw too on the run. Nice play.
Yeah, the key to that is to keep that ball. Molina gave him an inside target, and don't get that ball over the runner's shoulder. That's where you can end up ricocheting a ball, and boy, all kinds of bad things can happen. But Molina gave him an inside target. Ransom hit him right on the money.
Victor Martinez, a great hitter, is not great with the bases loaded. 255. He's never hit one out. Martinez 0 for 3. Kenny, you've told me many times that the guys with the good averages and bases loaded are the ones that realize the pitcher's in trouble, not them.
Yeah, you got to step up there with a situation where you're not heaping all kinds of pressure on yourself. And, you see all the runners on base, and everybody would say, "Oh, get up there, hit a grand slam." Well, that's not the thought you should have. The thought you should have is the base hit will do the job. I mean, you can get 2 RBIs. Every once in a while, somebody will center one, and you can really drive one.
1-0.
And every time the pitcher falls behind on the count in this situation, it jacks up your chances of coming through even more.
Bases loaded, 2-0 count, 2 outs. The number 3 batter at the plate, Victor Martinez. Albaladeo deals. There's a strike outside corner, 2-1.
Look at that last pitch, Kenny, and that's a good on both guys' parts. I mean, it's not a good pitch to hit until Martinez takes it, but Albaladeo didn't come across the plate. Generous call there, but it's a good play on both of them.
2-1. Grounded softly to second. Cano is there, and a good job by Albaladeo as he works out of trouble. And A.J. Burnett likes what he sees. So no runs, no hits, 3 walks, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th-inning stretch. Yankees are trailing 3-1, but we stay right here as we honor America in the Bronx.
Will you please rise and offer a moment
Expected the Blue Jays to be this good, but they've gotten great offense and surprising pitching because, Kenny, they had a lot of guys hurt, a lot of guys from their staff. No one ever thought they'd be this good.
Well, Roy Halladay's the man, as usual. I believe he's 3-0 to start the season. You would expect that. But Jesse Litch, their number 2 starters on the disabled list, got a forearm problem. And the other guys, Ricky Romero, the young rookie, has stepped in. He's a guy who cried when he found out he was going to be in a rotation. And he's stepping up. He don't want to leave it.
Rafael Perez takes over for Carl Pavano. Saw him on the opener here at the stadium on Thursday. He'll deal to Cano. Yankees have Cano, Matsui, 2 left-handers. So Eric Wedge mixing and matching, bringing in one of his 2 lefties, Rafael Perez, the other one, Zach Jackson. They like to get the ball in the 9th inning so Kerry Wood could close it out. We're here in the bottom of the 7th. There's a strike.
Bullpen's supposed to be a strength for the Indians. With Perez, Betancourt, and Kerry Wood carrying the load. Kerry Wood signed a 2-year deal. There he is.
Sliced inside third and down the left field line. Kicks off the stands. Cano rounds first. He's going to second. He'll be in there with a double.
Well, Cano took a bit of a chance here. I mean, the Yankees are down by a couple of runs, and he's trying to beat this out for a 2-base hit. The ball comes off, and it's a little bit of a carom here for the left fielder, Chu, but Chu's throw is a little off the tracks. And Cano is in for a double here. I think he got it there a decent amount of time. It's just way offline.
That little tail on it.
Yeah.
But, again, these are the things in the new stadium. You're going to find out the caroms when you can and you can't go. But, you know, you can't emphasize enough that last inning with bases loaded and 1 out. The Yankees getting out of that inning. All of a sudden, the leadoff double. You know, you've got an opportunity to get right back in this thing.
Here's Matsui. Takes a strike. Count 1-1.
Yeah, one thing that I haven't seen much from Matsui lately, when he's hitting well, that ball off towards the outer third, he hits it well to the opposite field. And it just seems his balance has been off. Jensen Lewis warming up in the Cleveland pen. And he's getting out in front, just kind of trying to pull everything. That was a little high.
He's 2 for 2 in his lifetime against Perez. That one is lined into left center field. It is a base hit. Cano rounds third. He'll head home. An RBI single for Matsui. And the Yankees now trail by 1, 3-2.
Michael, you talked about Eric Wedge trying to mix and match, bringing the lefties. You know, he sees the 2 lefties in the Yankees lineup back to back with Cano and Matsui. But he can't do the job as far as Perez is concerned. 1-1 on the count. That's up 2-1. Let's see where he out over the outer third of the plate. Matsui goes back through the middle for the base hit, slicing away. That's when he's hitting well.
You just said it before the pitch, and again, if you roll over that ball, there's nothing you can do with it. There's a lot, especially with men in scoring position, a lot of good things can happen when you stay up the middle and in the left center as a left-handed hitter.
Well, his lefty specialist had nothing special today. A double of Cano, a single of Matsui. Now he'll call on Jensen Lewis to face Cody Ransom. Yanks down by 1. Throughout the Yankees season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the three of us here in the booth for the Chevrolet Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Today's candidates are number 1, Chu, number 2, Garco, number 3, Pavano, number 4, Mark Teixeira. Vote now. Make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Jensen Lewis faces Cody Ransom, who squares the bunt, takes outside.
Now you might look in the Yankee dugout as Brian Bruni warms up in the bullpen. Jorge Posada's got a bat. There he is. He's might be hitting for Molina here if Ransom moves the runner over.
Goes to second and gets the out. So Ransom does not get the job done, as the out is made at second.
It's a tough play. I mean, Matsui not running well. I mean, this is an average bunt. This is just knowing who you've got running. Lewis makes a quick throw to second base and easily gets Matsui.
Well, you can almost hear Kelly Shoppach in the background. The catcher saying 2-2-2, throw to second.
A crowd of 43,068. A nice hand for Jorge Posada. And on opening day, got a hold of Babe Ruth's bat and then did the same thing that Ruth did. Christened the new Yankee Stadium with a home run. So with that one swing, Jorge Posada becomes part of forever. Now he's a pinch hitter for Molina. Ransom at second, or checked out at first. And there's a strike. Outside. As a pinch hitter in his career, Jorge not that great, 223, 23 for 103. He has 2 home runs and 18 walks.
Yeah, plenty of times everyday players are not particularly good pinch hitters. Something's different.
Not your routine. You think about it, 103 pinch hit.
That one's driven deep to right field. Going back is Crow, leaping, and he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. Posada thinks it's a home run, and it is. It's a home run. The Indians can't believe it, and the Yankees have a 4-3 lead. A pinch hit, 2-run home run by Posada.
We're going to have an argument here. That's Trevor Crowe out in right field. He leaps. We're going to have to take another look at it. Did he keep the ball in the park, or did the fan drop it back into the ballpark? He didn't touch it. The fan did, and then the ball comes back in.
But then you have to ask the question, did the fan reach over and touch the ball if it wasn't in the stands? This will give us a better look.
Here's a different angle. No, it didn't look like it. That's on the border. But I think it's a home run. It's like that play in Baltimore. Now that angle looks like he reached over. But on the previous angle, it looked like the ball was being cradled and he dropped it.
Now the umpires are meeting.
It almost looked like he whiffed it and the ball hit the top of the wall.
Well, the only professional out there is Crow. There's the leap.
That's a hard call for an umpire. You got to be right at the wall.
I haven't heard this, but I mean, they have the replay now.
You can replay on border calls like that.
Well, there's a swing. Posada's not sure. And he's watching the umpire who's out in the outfield who calls it a home run. First base umpire Tom Hallion called it a homer.
Now, what could they be talking for so long about? You either saw it or you didn't. Now the umpires are moving toward Eric Wedge. And now they reverse it. Then Girardi's going to come out.
Joe's going to go see the replay.
That's exactly what's happening, Paul. I think they're going to go see the replay.
There's the leap. And the ball is definitely over the top of the wall. It's just a matter of whether the fan reached over or not. I think it's in the seats. I think the guy next to the guy in the green hat, the ball would have hit him in the chest. That's what I believe.
Now, this is new for the replay rule this year. The umpires are going to check the replay. You can check on border calls, you can check on reach over calls, and you can check like you did last year on fair or foul. So that's exactly what's happening. And Joe Girardi went out and argued the call in Baltimore that Kenny spoke about previously, but he felt that the explanation given by the umpires happened to be fine. He didn't argue for a replay, but Eric Wedge is looking for a replay.
The guy in the green hat is the one who reached in front of the other, but I think the guy next to him, the ball would have hit him in the chest. And to me, that's a homer.
Well, Jerry Crawford is the home plate umpire and the crew chief, and 2 umpires actually went in to look. 2 remain on the field. You can have 3 that can go and look as long as there's 1 umpire on the field. And Eric Wedge is waiting nervously. He's looking up into the press box to see if one of his broadcasters say good or bad. We've shown the replay a couple of times, and that's what the umpires are looking at right now. They are seeing if the ball would have cleared if the fan had not touched the ball.
Here's the guy reaching over, but this is the guy right here. The guy whose ball would have hit him in the chest. The gentleman with the glove.
Wow, so close.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if that ball just came down and hit his glove in the top of the wall, or if I agree with you, Kenny, it might have hit him in the chest. And I've seen the replay in slow motion, in HD to boot, and I still can't figure it out.
Nervous time for both teams. The Yankees would have the lead if this is a home run.
What are they going to do if it isn't? Here's another question. Where are they going to put the runners? Second and third?
Probably put them at second and third.
All right.
Unless they say he could have caught the ball if the fan didn't touch it.
Then we really got issues.
Now let's expand this. Wow.
I believe that ball would have hit him in the chest. I still believe it.
You know what's amazing? I think you said it very well, Paul. We've seen it a million times and we still don't know for certain. I don't think that we could swear to anything, good or bad, home run, double, would have made the catch or not. And that's what the umpires have to decide now. This is a very tough instant replay call that we have here, because I don't think there's any clear-cut angle that gives you a clear-cut feel, yes or no. So the umpires have the umpires room down that third baseline, and we'll take a look at another angle and we'll blow it up here.
Watch this guy. I still believe it would have hit him in the chest.
Do you think it would have hit the guy in the Yankee cap in the chest or the green hat?
With the glove? The guy with the glove. See, he's the one who's got the best chance of catching it. And this guy with the green hat interferes with the ball. I still think it would have hit him.
From that angle, it hit the top of the wall in Crow's glove and came back in play.
Right. I don't think that Crow would have made the catch because, as Paul said, he whiffed on it.
Yeah.
It was too high for him to get to.
I don't think anything can go wrong to the Yankees here. It's either a ground rule double or it's a home run. There's no way that this could be an out.
And here's the ump. And they're going to call him back.
They're calling
Girardi out. They haven't called the player back. The player being Posada and Ransom. So let's see what they do here.
Let's see how animated Eric Wedge gets. He's getting a little animated. Joe's not getting animated, so I think everything's going Joe's way right here.
I don't understand why they had to call Joe out unless they're going to explain to him that we have to send Posada back to second. Because most of the talking is to Eric Wedge.
I think this is the way it looks now. It looks like he's going to be a homer.
Wedge and Girardi are actually teammates with the Rockies, so they know each other fairly well. And there's just a lot of waiting right now. The entire Indian team is collected on the infield grass at second base. Posada already has his catcher's gear on. He'd have to take that off if they send him back out on the bases. So Girardi said, well, what am I standing here for? You guys are arguing. Home run.
That's a long time to wait to play that music.
So a pinch hit, 2-run home run for Posada. Let's take one more look.
I think I agree with the umpires on that one. Great effort by Crow in right field. Even better effort by Posada, pinch hitter.
That's right.
Now Jeter's going to wish it into the seats. No worries there for Jeter. Oh, he's calling it from there. An 8.5-minute delay, and it comes out in the Yankees' favor. So now Eric Wedge goes to the bullpen again. The Yankees have come back to take a 4-3 lead. And Jorge Posada hits a 2-run pinch hit home run.
Georgie was showing Swisher the wind currents over there. It doesn't take long for the players to figure out where the wind goes, does it, Tim?
You don't need a weatherman to tell you.
Rafael Betancourt.
That's an old Bob Dylan line. Don't know whether you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows.
The 0-1. Third career pinch hit home run for Posada. Foul back. Now that brings back memories of Jeffrey Mayer in the 1996 playoffs. Derek Jeter was the batter. Tony Tarasco back at the wall, and little Jeffrey Mayer took a fly ball away from Tarasco. And you can see on the replay, Richie Garcia was the ump.
Thank goodness we didn't have replay back then, Michael.
Because Derek would not have a home run. Now here's all these years later, and the umpire said that would have gone in the seats if the fan had not touched the ball. Gardner slaps it the other way. Giving chase is Chu, and out of play. Now the one of the differences in right field here, as compared to right field at the old Yankee Stadium, is there was a walkway right behind the wall. Now there are seats right up against the wall, and you're going to have that call all the time with home runs where a guy's going to leap up. Now, after the Jeffrey Mayer call, the Yankees made sure to always have police officers stationed there so that people couldn't run up to the wall for a fly ball. That might be a problem now. A lot of ballparks do that in the outfield. I know Citizens Bank in Philadelphia, they have that as well, seats right up against the outfield wall.
There was a little buffer area at the old stadium,
The 1-2. Fouled straight back. And here's the buffer area right here. And Jeffrey Mayer ran from his seat into the buffer area. And Tarasco was going back, camping under the ball. And there's Jeffrey right there, who ended up becoming a pretty good college player. I believe he was 13 years old at the time.
You know, there was a chance that he was going to get drafted. And people in Baltimore were saying the Orioles should draft him and just keep him in minor leagues forever.
The 1-2. And Gardner swings and foul tips the ball into the glove of Shopik for the second out.
Pettencourt's got good stuff.
Kind of lulls you to sleep out there. We talked about it. It works slow, but he's got a good fastball, and he's got to pinpoint that fastball. Though when he starts missing with that fastball, then it becomes a little bit more hit.
Here's Derek Jeter, who is 1 for 3, and Brian Bruni will pitch the 8th. Now, one thing we should mention, we looked at the replay, as I mentioned, 1,000 times, and Kenny, you feel that it probably would have gone to the seats. We're not sure, so it's not conclusive. So if something's not conclusive on a replay, you have to stand with the original call. The original call from the umpire was it was a home run. So unless something that you see on that replay tells you something terribly different, you got to hang with that call. Maybe that's the way they called it.
I still think they made the right call. That's the way I feel.
I think Georgie probably feels the same way.
Third home run of the season, and as Michael said, his third career pinch hit homer.
Outside 1-2. When Jeter hit that home run on Friday to give the Yankees a lead, when he crossed home plate, Mark Teixeira, who's a cleanup hitter today, said, you know what, you really are a great player. He was just so impressed at that at bat and the way he went about it that he felt compelled to tell Jeter what a great player he is.
As he was crossing home plate?
A 1-2. Swing and a miss. And that's going to do it in the 7th inning. But the Yankees take the lead. 3 runs on 3 hits. And 1 instant replay. You've seen it a couple of times. That's a 2-run home run. That is a 4-3 Yankee lead. In-game box score as we go to the 8th inning. Just 3 hits in there. A home run by Chu for 2 runs. Well, he scored 2 runs. Ryan Gargo, a 2-run home run. And the owner of the hit was by Travis Hafner, a dunk single to left. So A.J. Burnett's off the hook. Albaladeo got out of the jam. Bases loaded, 1 out. He's the pitcher of record on the winning side. And now Brian Bruni comes on to pitch the 8th inning. Travis Hafner leads off. Pitch upstairs. You know, a lot of the headlines will go to Jorge Posada and the instant replay. But the Yankees, if they win this game, Paul, because of what Albaladeo did.
Yeah, I mean, bases loaded. We talked about a little bit. 1 out. I mean, that game could be broken wide open there with a couple hits. You know, he got a break on the infield roller. Cody Ransom makes a good play.
That one's popped up. Ransom again in foul territory, near the seats. 1 away.
The 2 games that the Indians in their middle relief trying to get to Kerry Wood, neither time have held the lead, and that's the struggles that they've had in their bullpen so far.
2 of Bruni's done. It's just been outstanding. And the ERA is 3 because his first outing was rough, but 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. He's challenging with the fastball. He's got a nice, hard, tight slider. He's nasty. Here's Johnny Peralta. Foul away. Mariano begins his stretching exercises, and he'll get ready soon. Start to throw. Foul back.
It's funny when you throw a Bruni, you look at him and as an opposing hitter. Here's a guy that overpowering fastball, and you're going to get a fastball in the count. And both those pitches are probably up a little bit out of the zone, but he's got a fastball. You're going to get it. You end up swinging at it, and over swinging actually, trying to catch up to it.
And the pitch. Way high.
Tough one to swing at.
Yeah, it is. I think it was meant to be a teaser, see if he would go up the ladder, but I don't know. Shaq might have had trouble hitting that one.
There's that slider we talked about. And the count 2-2. And the pitch. Grounded to short. Jeter to Teixeira. 2 away. Let's take a look now at the Land Rover drive of the game. I don't think this one's going to be that tough to figure out.
Posada at the plate, pinch hitting roll, and a controversial home run, but with the Yankees in the lead, 4-3. There's a call by the crew chief, Jerry Crawford. That's our Land Rover drive of the game.
Here's Chu, and he fouls it back.
You know, it's important for Bruni to try and go 1-2-3 here, because if Mariano comes on in the bottom of the 9th, in all likelihood, then he gets a chance to face the bottom third of the order. And one guy you really don't want to hit in this game anymore, and not see until they play the Indians again, is Grady Sizemore leading off.
The 0-1. Driven out toward left field, giving chase is Damon. He's there, and he puts it away. So Bruni does go 1-2-3. He doesn't strike anybody out this time, but he gets the job done. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees are up by 1, 4-3. Flanagan in-game box score for the Yankees. 7 hits. Gardner, Jeter, each with a hit. Teixeira, a double by Cano and a run scored. An RBI by Matsui. Molina 1 for 2. That's the starting lineup. And then Jorge Posada picked up a pinch hit 2-run home run. And that is the difference in this game. Betancourt against Damon here in the bottom of the 8th. Yankees looking for another run, or 2 or 3, and there's a strike. 4-7-0 leading 3-3-0. Count 1-1. Damon 0 for 2 and was hit by a pitch. Let's recap the 7th inning. A double by Cano, then an RBI single by Matsui against Perez. Then they bring in Jensen Lewis. Ransom tries to bunt, unsuccessful as Matsui's gunned down at second. Then Posada comes in to pinch hit for Molina and hits a 2-run home run. Then they bring in Rafael Betancourt. He strikes out Gardner and Jeter. And that's where we stand right now as the Yankees lead 4-3 after that 3-run 7th inning. Yankees trying to split this 4-game set. First series ever played at the new Yankee Stadium.
You can't complain about the weather.
No.
We've had beautiful weather here for this first weekend.
Wait till tomorrow. Then you can complain.
I'm not waiting. I'm going to skip out of here. How's that?
Hand it over to Al with bad weather. Leaving me and Kenny behind.
I got my raincoat, though.
The 1-2. Served into left field. Chu is there. And there's one away. Hey, it's time to take a look at the play of the game brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Victor Martinez with a rocket. But a quicker glove by Mark Teixeira at first. What a play. My goodness, that's a Geico play of the game.
Looked better on that replay than it did live.
Oh, it might be Geico play of the week.
You have a feeling you're going to see that on ESPN tonight.
Oh, you see it somewhere. Martinez is going to see it in his sleep.
And Teixeira takes a pitch outside, 1-0. Mark drove in the Yankees' first run, a 2-out single driving in Jeter, who had doubled. And there's something to be said for what a 2-out hit does for a team. And that's something that the Yankees had some trouble with last year, picking up runs with 2 outs. There's a ground ball to first, and Martinez returns the favor. And he beats Teixeira to the bag.
Ooh. Turnabout is fair play, according to Martinez. Martinez to the glove hand. Spins, turns, and now the race is on. Just got him by a step. I can do you one better.
And it's when you're trying to dig for that single, it's like those legs just won't go fast enough.
Don't fail me now.
Now here's Nick Swisher, who has not had a good day. Got a little hat trick working. Struck out looking in the 2nd and swinging in the 4th and the 6th. Here we are in the 8th. And Nick is the number 5 hitter in the lineup today.
Different type of pitcher here, though. Betancourt is more of the hard stuff, and Pavano was getting him with the off-speed pitches. Pitched Nick Swisher very well this afternoon.
This time of year, an 0 for 3 really makes your average dip. He started the day at 342. He's down to 317.
Yeah, but conversely, a 3-hit day,
right back up.
Make you sore. SOA on.
Driven out to center field and deep. Going back, Sizemore. Still back. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. Swisher with a 2-out double here in the 8th.
Swisher is among the league leaders in extra base hits. He's got 11 extra base hits now in the early going this season. He's got 6 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. Sizemore didn't know where to put the glass. He didn't have time to get him down all the way. That ball was hit like a rocket. We're going to get a pinch runner here. Finally gets the glasses down, but it's too late. Ball's already over his head. Swisher with his team-leading 6th double of the year.
And he's reached base safely in all 13 games this season. Pinch runner for him is Melky Cabrera. And Robinson Cano is not going to face Betancourt. They're going to intentionally walk Cano. And they'll take their chances with Matsui. So this has nothing to do with setting up a double play. This has nothing to do lefty-righty. This is the Indians saying, we'd rather face Matsui than Cano, period. So laying down the gauntlet to Matsui. Let's see if he responds. So after a 22-4 game yesterday, a nail-biter today at the stadium as the Yankees holding on by 1. So an intentional walk to Cano, and that brings up Matsui. Matsui's 1 for 3. Grounded to second, popped to short, then dunked an RBI single to left center. That was in the 7th, the Yankees rally inning where they had the 3 runs to take the lead. Could be Matsui might be swinging the bat a bit better. His knee's feeling a little better. He's 3 for his last 7 with 4 walks.
Kenny talked about it. His last at bat, he stayed out in left center field, drove in a run. If you can stick with that approach, if you're starting to turn it around, you stick with that approach, you'll be fine. If it's you keep going back and forth to that pull mode, then it's going to take a little time.
Count 0-2.
That's a nasty pitch right there.
Those 2 painted fastballs. Betancourt, we talked about, has good stuff. If he can pinpoint that fastball, and he's been really successful in their bullpen the past couple of years.
The 0-2. 1-2. Now, if you're looking ahead to the 9th inning, it's the bottom third of the order for the Indians. You've got Crow, Shopik, and Cabrera. You only have 2 guys on the bench for the Indians, 2 right-handed batters, Graffinino and Francisco.
So far, he's kept everything away from Matsui. Every once in a while, you see a pitcher go out there to the well once too often, and Matsui will flick one into left field. Always seems like he's a man with a plan at the plate.
I always thought he was, in his heyday here when he was healthy, much better hitter with men in scoring position. Seemed like he used a lot more of the field.
2-2.
Even last year, he was injured and had the 337 with runners in scoring position. You got to remember, even though there are 2 men on base, there is a base open, so he can afford to be careful with Matsui. He's got a right-handed hitter on deck. You know, the walk to Cano was an intentional one because he's been hot. Now, even if he walks Matsui, it's not the end of the world for the Indians.
Runners go, and he does walk Matsui. Bases loaded for Ransom.
Remember, he got ahead, no balls and 2 strikes, and then decided, I'm going to paint, and the brush wouldn't work, and he ran out of paint.
Amazing how you can get that strike 1 and strike 2, and that last strike for a pitcher, when you start trying to make that perfect pitch, makes it a